Hello, everyone. Hey. Why is that so loud? There we go. That's better. It's been a little while. It's been a long while. I can only apologise. I think last time I did a stream I said, don't worry everybody, we're back baby. And then everything went wrong that could possibly have gone wrong. We have had an uncomfortably difficult couple of weeks here at Warhipster Towers. This week included. This week hasn't been great. But it's been productive in some ways. Well, it's been very, very, very productive in many ways. This weekend, I will be attending Ardacon. And I didn't have an army ready. Let me take you on a little journey back to a couple of weeks ago when I made up my mind that I was going to take Riders of Rohan to Ardacon. That's what I was going to do because the new Riders of Rohan were out, or they were about to come out. I knew that they were coming out because obviously I was painting them and I was about to put them out as a video. So I had done 6 of them and I was all primed and ready to do a whole army of all riders because the new models are just so much nicer than the old ones. You just don't want to take the old ones anymore, you know? And I think that's a perfectly legitimate position to hold. So, of course, I put in an order at the time for 3 boxes of them. For 3 boxes of them to turn up. And then my order was cancelled because GW didn't make enough. Or to distribute them to enough people in order to be able to fulfill my order. So my order was outright cancelled. I debated with them. I said, is there any chance that, like, I'll be able to come in and get them? Like, is it a case that you don't have any online stock, but you're going to have in-store stock? Nope, we just have no stock whatsoever. I was like, great. Fantastic. So, fast forward, Mike, the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful man that he is, finds some in the US, of all places. So he ships them to me, and they arrive on time. Brilliant. So I get to start building. I do all of this. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I went for an innocuous, perfectly innocent little dentist appointment. That's what I did. I went for just a little run-of-the-mill dentist appointment. And a hygienist appointment to have my teeth cleaned by a professional. Deep cleaned by a professional. So we go to that appointment, go to the hygienist. It's a very hot day, but, you know, don't think anything else of it. Have the hygienist appointment. It's awful. They always are. I don't enjoy going to the dentist, as you know. I have a phobia of it, so it's never a good time out for me. I never enjoy going, but you have to go. You have to go. You have to look after the old gnashers, you see. Hygienist appointment. Anyway, finally done. All good. Then I have my regular checkup with the dentist, and I go in, and she looks at my teeth and does all of that good stuff. She says, "Mr. Hill, pleased to report. There's no problems whatsoever here. We're going to continue to keep an eye on things, of course. See you in 6 months. But yeah, you're doing good. Keep it up. Keep looking after your teeth. And we'll see you again soon." I said, thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much. Head downstairs, pay for things. Get home. And my face hurts a little bit. Just a little bit. But it's because I've been to the hygienist. If you've never been to a hygienist, I recommend that you should, even though it's horrible. But it is that full deep clean thing. They drill all the plaque off your teeth and they take what feels like a mold line remover to the inside of your gums and all this kind of thing. You hook it all out and give you a good old deep cleaning. And it's sore if you don't look after your teeth. Of course, it's gonna suck. I try to look after my teeth because, I've had some terrible issues with them. So I'm trying my best, okay? But you still have to go through the whole rigmarole. So if you haven't been, I recommend going. Anyway, go to hygienist. Everything's all done. Get home. My mouth's hurting a little bit, but no more than you would normally expect to. So then, ladies and gentlemen, the next day, my mouth's hurting a little bit more. Okay, fine. Any muscle strain or anything like that? It's usually worse the second day. Third day, it hurts even more. Fourth day, it hurts even more. Friday, wake up, absolute bloody agony. Can't handle it. Having a horrible, horrible, horrible time. An awful time. With my whole face. The whole right-hand side of my face is starting to hurt. But it wasn't even going to be that bad yet, because I didn't know what Saturday had in store for me. Or at least Friday night. Friday night, I did not sleep. My face hurt so bad Friday night that I just couldn't sleep. I think I got 25 minutes in total, and that was only just because I couldn't physically keep my eyes open anymore. But my entire right-hand side of my face, just awful, awful pain. Awful, awful pain. Terrible, terrible. So we go for an emergency dentist appointment, because I assume something's gone wrong with my teeth, okay? So we head for an emergency dentist appointment. And this is with a separate dentist, a nationwide 24/7 dentist, I think is what they're called. So they sit me down. They do an X-ray of the area where where the problem is, where I think the problem is. It's back here, yeah, right back there, top of the mouth. I think that's where the problem is. Do an X-ray of it, and they say, "There's nothing wrong with that tooth, my friend. I think what you've done is it's just a muscle problem. It's just a muscle problem. That's what's wrong with you. So just use ice and heat, and take ibuprofen and paracetamol. That'll deal with it. You'll be fine. You'll be okay. Do some stretches. Open your mouth as wide as you can. Do this with it slowly, not as fast as I was doing it then. So okay, there's nothing wrong with the tooth. Let's just trust them. Off we go." Go home, buy some slightly more expensive ibuprofen and all this kind of thing. And then I just have another terrible, terrible night. Again, very, very little sleep. Can't deal with it. I'm having double ibuprofen, or at least 400 milligrams of ibuprofen, just one tablet. That's the big kind. But like double ibuprofen, double paracetamol, and it's not even taking the edge off the pain. My entire head is just like right down the middle. The right hand side of my face is just awful, and when I lie down, the entirety of my head feels like it's going to explode and my brain's going to pop out the top of my skull. That's how awful it was. So I had to just sit up like this the whole night, horrified. Can't do anything, right? So it's Sunday. Sunday is really bad. So I turn to Alice and I say, "Alice, you need to take me to casualty. I can't handle this. This is so awful. The drugs aren't working. I can't do anything. This is a terrible, terrible situation for me to be in. We need to go to the doctor." So we go to casualty. Go to A&E, Cheltenham A&E. We see a nurse who gives me more painkillers, codeine and all this kind of thing, and that takes the edge off it for a bit. And then she also says, "I've got you an outpatient appointment with a GP at the hospital later on today at 5 o'clock. Come back in 5 or 6 hours or whatever it is, and you'll be fine." So we go home. I did finally manage to get some sleep because of the amount of stuff that she gave me. Slept for the rest until later that evening. Then we went to the GP appointment, and he then says, "Right, sounds to me like a good old-fashioned TMJ dysfunction is what you've got there." TMJ is the temporomandibular joint, which is this thing. Comes along here, down there, It goes up here, which makes sense, which is why all of that was on fire for me. And just swollen and hurting. The back of my mouth was really swollen around this back tooth, which I thought was the problem, but I'd been told twice now that it wasn't. Gum was so swollen, it felt like it was going to reabsorb my tooth. It was so big and awful and cumbersome. It tasted horrible as well. So I was like, this is an infection. This is clearly an infection. But they said I didn't present with any symptoms of like dangerous infection. So what they do is they go, for the pain, what we're going to do is we're going to give you tramadol, which is an opiate painkiller, for those of you who don't know. It's pretty strong, severe stuff. So, okay, cool. I was familiar with tramadol. My mother had it when she had both of her knees replaced. So I was like, as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, tramadol, great, brilliant. So we go to the pharmacy, get tramadol, and I actually do have a really good night's sleep because it's pretty severe stuff. It's pretty hardcore. And on Monday, I asked Alice to do me another favour and get me an appointment with my actual dentist because I'm worried about all this swelling that's at the back here, at the top there. I'm worried that that's an abscess. I've had an abscess before here. I could go and find the picture of it, but my face was like, my face swelled up so much that it was like my left eye was nearly shut when I had the last abscess, and it was really, really horrible, and they had to drain it, and then I eventually had that tooth removed. So yeah, I was worried that an abscess was forming back there, so need to go and get rid of that. So she books me a dentist appointment, so massive thank you to her for doing that. And then we go to the dentist on Wednesday. She takes one look at it and says, you haven't got TMJ dysfunction, which I still think I definitely did. But she goes, what you do now have is you have an infection, which the two dentists did before hadn't seen, and the hospital had said we probably don't have one. She then goes, yeah, you've got an infection in that tooth back there. The tooth is fine though. You just got an infection there because the hygienist is they stopped short of admitting any fault basically. So they give me amoxicillin, antibiotics, and so this whole time I was just in this awful, horrible pain. I was strung out on opiates and antibiotics. I just couldn't focus or do anything, and like, because your body's ill and fighting off infection and all this kind of thing, but just like my inner core temperature was hot. It was also hot around, so it's just been sweating and dying and feeling awful. That has been my last 3 weeks. I am now better, hence why I'm live now. And we've got an absolute ton of stuff to get through for Ardacon. You know, there is a load of things to go. This is the army. It's here. It's all painted, but the bases are not yet finished. So that is what we're going to do tonight, having done story time for 20 minutes. This is what we've got to do. All of these bases. There are 15 bases to do here, which shouldn't take hours and hours and hours and hours of time. It's Tyrant's. Well, we've got to do some Black Templar on their rocks, and then we've got to do Tyrant Skull dry brush across everything. Then we've got to put some tufts on. Then we've got to do the rooms. So 15 models, not too bad. So we best get on with it in just a minute. But I have seen that we've got some lovely, lovely folks in the chat. Mr. Ricky Drinks Paint has been a member for 39 months. Thank you so very, very, very much. And Illy, thank you also being a member for 26 months. Says, good to see you live streaming again. Thank you. I am back, hopefully. I should be back next week. So yeah. I mean, look, this is what I've been doing. I started this on Saturday. Painting the 15 riders on Saturday, Sunday, because I had to finish the Exodites. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, for absolutely no reason whatsoever that I can discern. Monday just decided to be another 32 degrees Celsius outdoors day. So Monday was just completely derailed by the weather. Couldn't do very much for most of the day until about 1 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, it's just been stress and horrible, and my face has hurt, and yeah, long story short, make sure you go to your dentist. You can have fun like me. So yeah. So I'm going to paint Black Templar onto the models. No more ogres. No, there's 2 more ogres videos. There's the Maul Beast Cavalry and there is the Gluttons. I just haven't got to the... well, I've done them. I just haven't put the videos out yet because I haven't had time to edit them. I should be editing the Maul Beast Cavalry tomorrow before we go away. Because we're heading to Ardacon tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, we're heading to Ardacon. It's happening. Ladies and germs. It's happening. Your mail, thank you very much for being a member for 40 months. 40. Happy to see you back in action. I'm not sure I want to go to the dentist now, though. No. I mean, look, this is the thing. I never want to go. Like I said, I have a... I guess you'd call it a mild phobia. Like, I can do it. But I hate it. I despise going. It's awful for me. And then I have these terrible experiences where stuff like this happens. And it just makes me want to not do it at all. When is the Glutton video releasing? When is the Glutton video releasing? I don't know. I can get it out sooner rather than later. And I probably should get it out sooner rather than later, to be fair. We could try and get it out this weekend? Maybe? I mean, it could be tomorrow's video, but I did have my heart set on doing the Maul Beast Cavalry tomorrow. My dentist and hygienist are literal angels. They're the only way I get through getting my teeth cleaned. Worst case of anxiety when it comes to any doctors. Yeah, the people that I generally see, they are very nice, and they are very they do look after me. Or at least they have consistently looked after me better than other dentists have. So it's not their... I don't want to say it's their fault. I just, you know... Do you know how I know that they definitely knew it was their fault? But they didn't want to, like, make a thing out of it, and I don't want to make a thing out of it either. Was basically, normally a checkup costs about 80 quid. Normally, that's how much a checkup costs. Something like that, somewhere in that region. But this, the last appointment where I got the antibiotics was not only an emergency appointment, which often cost more. It was an emergency appointment, an X-ray, and a prescription for antibiotics, and it cost less than a normal appointment. So I was like, yeah. Let's all just agree not to make this a thing, and let's just move on with our lives. So that's how I knew it was. So it's fine, I guess. So pleased to see you back and feeling better. Oh, thank you. Yes, I am back. I am back very briefly, and then I'm off again. I'm heading, obviously, to Manchester this weekend for a bunch of Middle-earth fun. Is anybody else in chat going to Ardacon? I feel like I've asked this question a bunch of times, and I feel like the answer is always no. How do I get the Ardacon folks to come and watch the videos? The one guy who's going to be at the event who hasn't played Lord of the Rings Warhammer since I was 16. I'm literally going to be learning how to play the game. during the doubles event on Friday. I said to Adam, bless him, who is my partner for the event, I said, can we please use the list that I will be using so that I know. So I know how to use it in the rest of the event. He was like, yeah, that's absolutely not a problem. I was like, thank God. So we're going to learn how to do it together. Please, gluttons, I'm assembling now. I'll try and get it out soon. Tomorrow is going to be a very, very, very busy, weird day. Because we have to sort of leave. Well, we're planning to leave here sort of around about 5. I need to get Thursday's video edited. So tomorrow's video edited. And I need to get Saturday's video edited as well. So if we have time, I'll squeeze in the Gluttons edit as well. Or I could do the Gluttons on Saturday and bump Saturday's video, but it depends on how tonight goes, basically. Just got to get this bit done, though, first. And I'm literally just applying Black Templar to rocks, which is why they're not on camera. It's really boring, so you just get to look at my face instead. The face that you've all missed ever so much. How long did it take to grow your hair this long? I'm also growing mine. That's a good question. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I cut it. I think it must have been a couple of years ago now. I am old, though. So, this is slow growth. When I was younger, my hair would get to this length a lot quicker. But in my 30s, it doesn't tend to do that. And instead, what it does is it slowly replaces more and more of my lovely brown hair with let's call it handsome grey. Handsome grey. What models are you taking and what's the points? It's 700 points. And I am taking Riders of Eomer. I have Eomer, obviously. Has to be a general in that list. Gandalf the White. And then 21 Riders of Rohan, including one with a banner. That's it. And a lot of people have said to me, you should have a captain so you can have more might. And I've said, I don't know what might does, so I don't want it. You should win a trophy for the best painted army. Oh, not even closely, Sue. The one thing I will say about MESBG, like MESBG folks, is the level of hobby is often just utterly insane across the board. Like, it's absolutely crazy. Like, the quality that's going to be there. You might think that my army looks good. I think my army's going to look terrible next to a lot of the things that are going to be there. They're genuinely so much. Any future Gloomspite Gits videos? Need some more so I can properly paint mine. Loved your Gitmon videos. I'm sure there will be. I haven't got any planned at the moment. Do you think that the owners paint them? Absolutely. Yeah. I see it all the time. I find like I'll find like on Instagram, I'll get a message from someone. It actually happened the other day. I got a message from someone saying, thank you so much for all the inspiration on all your videos. Here is a picture of my, I think it was Boromir, Captain of the White Tower. And I was like, I haven't done that one. And they sent the picture. I was like, this is so much better than what I will do when I eventually paint him. So at the dawn of the 5th day, look for the beard. Exactly. Shush, your army is beautiful. Now, my army, I don't think my army looks bad by any stretch of the imagination. I am just under no illusions whatsoever that I'm going anywhere with any sort of painting award. I'm not. It's not really about that for me. For me with this one, I'm just excited to go and do this. And I'm excited that I get to go and do this with... This is basically, like, right here. Like, this is... What you're about... So what we're seeing here, this is kind of the dream. This has been the dream for a very, very long time. Is... If you were to say to, you know, like, 12-year-old me... Like, I've got Riders of Rohan that I painted back in 2003, 2004, that kind of time. Somewhere in this house. But right here, like, these gorgeous miniatures, beautiful plastic models, and that I get to do this for a living, and that I get to make them look as good as I have made them look. I got emotional looking at this, and it still makes me emotional looking at this. I'm very, very, very pleased with how this has come out. I'm ecstatic. So really, like, for me, I'm just proud of this, and I can't wait to play with it. I can't wait to yell "to the king" every single game and charge. Like, if I go again next year, I will probably, if it's fun and I enjoy it, if I go again next year, I would like to do Riders of Theoden. I'm just a big fan of all things Lord of the Rings. Also, look, chat. I'm not a terrible builder after all. I managed to do a conversion. Hey, look at that. Aren't I good? Time to dry brush. I'm excited for silver and gold being one step closer. Oh, yes. They are one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to paint. A little Linkin Park painting joke. There we go. As easy as that. Fingers crossed for GW Ardacon reveals come on new plastic orcs. I think you could say it. I've recently been saying that my money, if I were a betting man, my money is on the next like wave of stuff for MESBG is hopefully some form of Isengard. The reason being is it makes sense to tie it in with all the Rohan. But at the same time, it is Games Workshop, and they don't tend to be very good at doing anniversaries or anything like that, because this year, obviously, as we all know, is the 25th anniversary of the Fellowship of the Ring film. So it would make sense that this year they would be like, here's a new plastic Fellowship, for example. That would be something that would make sense to do. I think it's unlikely, but there never was much hope, just a fool's hope. There is a possibility of perhaps something, which I think would be really cool. A new plastic Lurtz, Ugluk, and Uruk-hai scouts would make sense for A, the Rohan tie-in, and B, Fellowship tie-in. 25 years. Which would make sense. Maybe. Maybe. That's what my guess is, at least. Or at least my hope. A Warhipster conversion in this economy. I know, right? Doesn't happen very often. In fact, that is the first one I've done in about 4 years. But look, I didn't want to take the old metal guy when I wasn't going to take any other old metal guys, you see. If we're done with Rohan for a while in terms of new stuff from Games Workshop, then it means that I can paint things like Gamling and the Royal Guard, and I can paint the older metal guys because, you know, they're going to be hanging around for a while. But I didn't want to paint the old metal banner, and then when his horse inevitably gets shot out from underneath him, replace him on foot with the new plastic one. That just felt horrible to me. That felt awful. I didn't want to do that. So, we didn't do that. Sponsored conversions, to be fair. Ah, yes, to be fair. Mike did. I sent him a message and said, do you think this will work? I need to get a box of Rohan Commanders. And then he bought one. I was like, I really have to stop thinking aloud to you, don't I? I don't think I ever said... No, you did. You said sounds... You said seems to. So you did confirm. You did confirm it for me. And it was that confidence that led me through to getting it done. Hello, Abdul. Glad that I started with Middle-earth / Lord of the Rings, and now I'm a 40k fanatic. I may have to go back to my roots when I was 10. The models look sick, by the way. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I took a long... Like, my journey basically goes... I did 40k for a bit, and then the Lord of the Rings happened. I then exclusively did Lord of the Rings for sort of like 4 or 5 years. Then did a bit more 40k. Then didn't do anything for a while. Then came back to 40k. And then... Age of Sigmar, and Age of Sigmar was like life-changing for me. And then I have steadily rediscovered my love for this, especially again being in the privileged position that I am, where Games Workshop sends me toys to make painting videos. It's like, heck yeah. And then, because Games Workshop sent me some toys to make painting videos, wonderful people like Mike found the channel and were like, do more of that. And I shall sponsor the content. And that's what he does. That's how he gets it done. Is that true? Is it true that GW sued a lot of painters on YouTube for using their stuff? I have not heard that. It doesn't sound true. That sounds like one of those videos where someone has half interpreted something that's actually happened and willfully left out the important bit. Like when people say, like when people who make 3D printed stuff that is a clear rip-off of Games Workshop stuff, and then they get told, stop it. So then it gets taken down, and then they make a video where they're like, GW sued me and I didn't do anything wrong. Look at my stuff, and it's nothing to do with it, but that's because it's already been taken down. See what I mean? But no, I haven't heard that. I've also heard that Warhammer 41k is coming. Is that true? I don't know if that's true either. We've just had a new edition. We're not going to get any movement in sci-fi for 3 years now. It'll be... What's next year's? 2027. 2027 will be Age of Sigmar. 2028 will be something. Possibly an Old World, or Horus Heresy, or Contrast Paint Wave 3. And then 2029 will be when you see some sci-fi movement. Perhaps. Mayhaps. Hello, Tim. Hope you're okay. I am. I'm much better than I was. I think it's just a good reason to send more gold boys to you. You do like having reasons to do that. I was painting these guys last night, and I was watching the two towers. And then they turn up, that one bit. And it made me laugh. I was like, there is not an evening that goes by where I do not think about Easterlings. It is a stretch to call their armour in the film gold, though. It looked more like Rundor brass to me. But that's probably just because of the way it's colour graded. The gold is the classic look from Games Workshop, so we will go with that. It looks alright on there. Brass, I think, would make them look a bit too cold, and also a little bit too much like the Halls of Thranduil, which we don't want to do. Missed you, man. Thanks, Counting House. I missed all of you as well. I don't like not streaming. I much prefer my life when I'm streaming, you know? It's much nicer because it means I get to talk to you guys, I get to keep you up to date with what's going on with what I'm doing, get to show you some stuff, get to answer questions, we get to laugh, occasionally cry, always with tears of joy. Can't think of a time when we've had tears of sadness whilst on live streaming. I don't think that's ever happened. Touch wood. But yeah, no, I miss it when I can't do it, and then it takes me when I've then skipped a bunch because of, well, in this case it's not my fault, but my dentist conspired against me. British Health conspired against me to stop me from streaming the last sort of 2 weeks, and the heat. So climate change. All that's been going on, obviously. After a time off, I then get nervous that I'm going to be really bad at streaming. So I'm going to sit here and it's going to be really boring and no one's going to turn up and who cares anyway? You suck, go away. I hate you. That's what happens in my head. So then we flip the camera on. It's important to do things that scare us. You know? Is the model count updated? Yeah, I updated it just before we went live. 348 is accurate. It should be 349 if I have a good evening of painting tonight. But we shall see. See what this year has in store. Hey man, huge fan. Do you varnish your minis? And if so, how do you do it? No, I don't. I don't varnish my minis. Which is a point. I'm going to have to tell Adam that he has to keep his greasy mitts off the models. He has to move them via the base. Which is what I do. And I guarantee the first thing I'm going to watch him do is pick up the banner by the flag. And it's going to snap. And then I'm going to be furious. But no, I don't varnish my models. Because I don't need to most of the time. I've also had bad experiences with varnishes. I did a couple of years ago. I did 2 models with the old Purity seal, which used to be the old varnish that Games Workshop did in Cannes. I think they probably actually still do. think it's a satin varnish, I think is what it is. But I did one model and I thought, oh, that's good. That worked. That looks great. And then I did the second one, and then it got all cloudy and mucked up. And I was like, cool, I'm never doing this again. If that's a possibility. And I was literally like one model after another. I was like, great. And I was told you can sort that out, I think, with vinegar, but I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember what I was told. Andy, thank you very much for the $20 super chat. That's very kind of you. I almost missed your live stream. Here's a well-deserved thank you for all you do for the painting community, sir. Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Legendary. I've tried to keep it up whilst I've been sick. Or in pain. Just wasn't really able to do everything as quickly as I'd like to, you know. Like as soon as the swelling had started to go down in my mouth, and I could actually focus on things, it wasn't just in hideous amounts of pain. The very first thing I did was try and finish the Dragon Masters, and then just the temperature just went skyrocket again. We've had a horrible summer here in the UK. It's been long and hot and dry. It rained yesterday, and that made it humid and hot and dry. Name is long enough to be annoying. Has been a member for 16 months. I should paint something. Oh well. You've painted a lot of miniatures this year, man. You can give yourself a break. I can't. Because, you know. Tournament starts on Friday. Righty. That is everything dry brushed. We're doing it. It's already 20 past 9. You're not doing it fast enough. Ah! I need a new pot of Tyrant's Skull. And I need to empty my bin. I feel like I only bought one very recently. There must be a spare somewhere. Probably not. I don't tend to. It does take a while to get through them. If you could paint anything and make a tutorial out of it, what would it be? I don't know. It probably hasn't been released yet. What are you currently painting? I'm currently doing my Ardacon bases. It's really boring content. It's just me talking. Yeah, Rune or Brass is a perfect match for how the armour is in the film. If you look up the props, that's surprising how dark and dirty is never like the bright gold GW did. Would you want them gold or brass? Name is long enough to be annoying. Do you want them film accurate or GW accurate? Because we can do it either way. Yes. Good. Hi Josh, hope you're well. I have a hobby question if you don't mind. I need to paint the Wood Elf Blood Bowl team, the Athlorn Avengers. What contrast would you use for the bodysuit and what shade? Let's go and have a look, shall we? Athlorn Avengers. This is the yellow, correct? Initially just looking at the yellow there and looking at my paint rack, it kind of looks like Iron Jaws yellow. Let me look at Iron Jaws yellow. Kind of looks like, yeah, probably Iron Jaws yellow. Now, I think Iron Jaws yellow is one of the ones that actually takes quite kindly to being shaded with not just a yellow paint. Let me just see what it looks like on my... Yeah, it's got that sort of warmth in it. It looks colder on the in the pot, so it's got a nice bit of warmth to it. So what you can do is you can get away with shading it probably with like... You might want to thin it a bit, but like you could probably shade it with a bit of Agrax and put that over the top. You would want it to be quite subtle shading over something like this, because if you do it too heavy, it'll turn out really brown and almost bone-like. But I would go with Iron Jaws yellow for the bodysuit there, for that yellow. Do different from Hot Elves, but not GW Gold. Nice. Hey Josh, check your phone. I love gold. The look of it, the smell of it, the texture. Well, that's a very, very kind notification. That's very generous of you, Michael. Thank you very much. That is a big, direct to Josh bribe. Thank you very much. Beautiful man. I'm a 72-year-old female who has started painting miniatures after coming across your videos. That's awesome. Congratulations. Welcome. Welcome to the hobby. It's wonderful to hear. Are you enjoying it? My new Warlord Titan arrived, and I'm baffled by GW's decision to bend the instruction booklet in half and fit it in an envelope with the Titan datasheet instead of just setting it in the box. Did they really do that? I don't think they did that with mine, but the datasheet wasn't in mine, I don't think. Maybe that's a new thing for 11th? I don't know. Tell Kevin his rubric Marines are great and he should feel great about his work. Okay. Where is Kevin's rubric Marines? Just finished painting my ones. Hated every minute, and they look bang average as a result. But all set to play. Res. I'm sure they're much better than you think they are. Send me a picture. Thank you so much for the advice. It's massively appreciated. You're very welcome. In your tutorials, you suggest sometimes to thin the paint. Do you use contrast medium or are you using water to thin? Thanks. Oh, usually, so when I say like thinned down Iron Warriors, if it's a base or layer paint, I use a little bit of water to thin it down. Because water is free. They are rushed staying in the box. I could literally lend you Gondor models if you want them to to look good. What do you need? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. I have 12 fully based Warriors of Minas Tirith, and I have 12 fully based Rangers of Gondor. I then have 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Wait. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Yes. I have 18 more Warriors of Minas Tirith. And they are all... they need basing. But they're all painted. Madril. Which one is Madril? I've got the Ranger versions of them. I'm pretty sure. These three. So that one. Apparently it doesn't want to focus. Yeah, if you want to borrow any of those guys, I'll bring them. He showed me them. Ah, well, in that case, Kevin, take it from Mike. Your Rubric Marines are great, and you should feel great about your work. You absolutely should do that. Can I borrow Faramir and Madril? You can. You sent me an image. Kevin's Rubric Marines. Yeah, they look great. Don't know what he's talking about. They look fantastic. Be more forgiving of yourself, Kevin. For you have done a good job. You are enjoying it immensely. That's awesome, Mellow Yellow. I'm glad. Hello, Captain Manrings. Hello there, Josh. How are you doing in this hellish weather? I'm not doing well. I'm not doing great. I have not been having a nice time. And yet here we are. Still going. Legendary scenes from Josh. Right, we need tiny dry green tufts. We don't need any of those. They're all good. However, I did buy some more tufts the other day because I finished a bunch. So we need mixed green 6mm. We don't need the autumn ones or the dark moss. We've got the shrubs. Dry green 2 mils as well. Yes. So we need that. And I bought some dry green shrubs and some dark green shrubs that I want to just put a little bit of shrubbery into my fields of the Pelennor. Chat as ever, if you haven't already, please do leave a like on the stream. That would be very kind of you. We could get to 50 likes. So we will start with... Let's start with some dry green shrubs. And let's see what they look like when I put them on an existing already done. Where am I? There we are. Just wanted to ask if there's an update on the remaining ogre painting videos. Yeah, there should be at least one tomorrow. What does Gandalf on the horse do? I believe... Gandalf on the horse is very good and casts magic and stuff. So let's put a little shrub. Like... that one's a little big for that base. So we'll put this one on a new one. A shrubbery. a small one on here. Just want to have the occasional little shrub. I want to try out the dark green shrubs as well. I think they look nice. Reza Prime, member for 57 months? Flex. Is he a pro gamer? He is a pro gamer. Gandalf on a horse is a pro gamer. What don't you have for Eastlings aside from the cat or whatever horseman? I am unsure on that front. I would have to go and hunt through some boxes. I don't have it all handily-dandily written down because I'm a fool. AMA, you can have 2 shrubs. 2 shrubs for AMA. Right, he's done. We should probably give Gandalf 1 shrub. Just like that. I think these little shrubs look nice. Okay. I actually prefer these dark green ones to the light green ones, but that's okay. Alright, let's get on some mixed green 6 mil. That's what we want. I've got to ask where you get the motivation to paint all that in this weather. I didn't touch my brushes in almost a month. 40 degrees here in the Czech Republic. Ugh! That's so much worse than what we've had here. The motivation is, if I don't do it, I don't... This is my job, so I have to do it, basically. And because I'm self-employed, if I don't do it, I don't make any money. And if I don't make any money, I can't pay the rent. If I can't pay the rent, that's bad. That's bad news bears for Josh. Emperor, Black Dragons, Black Dragon Acolyte, Eastling Warriors, some of the heroes, Rock Lizard things. I think you've got it all. Yeah, I think so. Let's put a grass on there and give this guy a big dry shrub. Like that. Lovely. This guy we're going to give a bright shrub and a dark shrub next to it, and then another one just off to one side. So you get some shrubs. This guy will go with a big old 6 mil and a bright shrub. I'm going to be filling in the rest of the bases with smaller tufts, don't worry about that. Over here we will go with just some big grass. And you will also get some big grass. Just one big grass. You can have 2 big grasses. And a little dark shrub. Oh, that's a big dark shrub. Split that in half. You can have a big dark shrub. And then we'll put a little shrub over here. We've got 3 more. Let's just add some more shrubbery to these guys. A shrub and shrub. So now that's 1, 2, and 3 riders with shrubs from the stuff that we've already done. The 2 heroes have got shrubs. And we just need to do something with the other 3 at the back here. Yes. Awesome. Coming to you from the world of Linux with 39 months of membership. The world of Linux. Captain Mannerings, you're a legend. Miss you, bud. I got to Josh, I have the Falcon Flame Seekers for Warcry and I can copy your recipes for the dwarves, but I have no clue how to paint that small dragon. The Magma Droth? Is that what we're talking about? I'm inspired by Warhipster that I made a mould, filled it with tiny stones to make my own walls, painted and dry brushed. Nice. That sounds cool. I should do that. I'm in Portland, Oregon. The air quality is now the worst in the world from forest fires. Stay safe out there, people. My heart goes out to you. That's awful. I hope you're staying safe. Let's have some big shrubbery on this guy. Why not? I like the shrubs. I'm a fan of the shrubs. I have become shrub. The shrubs are cool. I like it. Legs the game. Any idea when those orcs/gits videos might get posted? When I film them is when they'll get posted. I haven't, like I said, we've had a lot of trials and tribulations in recent times. We haven't been able to do them. So once there becomes a gap available, I will get to them. Or it might be a case that we just have to make the video even bigger and do it when the big orc release comes. Because that will then include, hopefully, if Games Workshop sends it to me, that will then include the multi-part boys. So then it will be a huge video. I am missing a thing. Dry green 2 mils. Dry green shrubs. There you are. When to make order history to validate since someone does not inventory the way some of us do. I am going to. Once we do the move, I'm going to inventory the heck out of my inventory. A full inventory will be taking place. When you said I'm a fool, made me laugh, as all I could think of was Gandalf. Run, you fools. That's what I was going for. 6 mil? Dude's packing. Goddamn right. James is here. James Mathias is here. Member for 32 months. Welcome back. Hope you're feeling better. Love the riders. Oh, thank you. It's a labour of love over the weekend. Hello, Mr. the Gwotkin. Dark Moss and Autumn and Tiny Dry Green. But we've already got a Tiny Dry Green on the go. So we'll just pop these to one side. So we'll use the one that we got on the go. What grass tufts are you using? Where did you get them from? These are Gamer's Grass tufts. They're all Gamer's Grass. There's Tiny Dry Green, and then Dry Green 2 mil, and then Dark Green Shrubs, Mixed Green 6 millimeters high, and Dry Green Shrubs is the tufts I'm using. Models all set and bags packed. You're doing better than I am. I haven't even got their base rims done. Random question. Don't suppose in your former years that you had any experience with Reaper DAW. I have a very, very limited experience with Reaper DAW. I'm probably not the best person to ask, but I'm happy to try and answer any questions. What are you trying to do? Who is your daddy, and what does he do? My brother sent me a text message the other day saying, when you worked at the Olympics, what is it you did? And I sent back, who is your daddy and what does he do? And then I answered him the actual question as to what I actually did at the Olympics. And then he never responded. So it was just a weird question for no reason whatsoever. Thanks, Ben, if you're watching. I know you're not. That's where he texts me. I am watching you, Bass. Two tufts. Done. Have you tried that Seren Air airbrushing for priming, or will you stick with the rattle cans? So here's the question. Here's the ultimate answer to that. Is I will not use an airbrush to replace any part of my Contrast Plus series because it would change how Contrast Plus series videos work. Now I will use, when I get a chance to, I will use the airbrush to do stuff that isn't Contrast Plus series. I just haven't had the time or the space, and I've actually got another compressor to show you guys, which I will be doing probably next week now, because this week has just gotten away from us. But yeah, it's not going to replace the anything in the Contrast Plus series, because what I don't want to do is tell you guys it was done in Grayseer, but it wasn't done in Grayseer. You see what I mean? Because the thing that makes the most sense to do is to find, rather than use the Citadel Grayseer and thin it down so that it works in the airbrush, is to find an analogous colour. But it's not going to be completely analogous. Even if it looks similar, there's going to be slight differences in it, right? So what I don't want to do is be like, oh yeah, no, this was done with a rattle can, even though it wasn't done with a rattle can. You see what I mean? I try to be as honest as I possibly can when I'm making my videos and when I'm talking to you guys. There are some times where I have to lie to you, like when we're live streaming and when someone asks me, "Hey Josh, are you gonna do X?" And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe. Going to be raiding your archives later. Started a World Eaters Army last weekend. Got Liam's chat to pick the colour scheme. OG white and blue it is. I actually have a really good video on how to do that. I really like the World Eaters video that I did in that classic scheme. We're going to speed things up a little bit here by taking these 2mm ones to just cover a little bit more ground on these bases. You're lying when you say you're doing Easterlings. No. No, not lying about that at all. It's just a very similar deal to the Halls of Thranduil, as you know. I see a Balrog painting tutorial in the future. I have a Balrog, and I have an entire Moria video that is on the back burner for the moment, but I have it. I have that and a Watcher in the Water, many goblins, the Goblin Command, some other stuff and things. There's a big old Minas Tirith video as well. That's in the works. That's all been built. But again, time. There's actually not a huge amount to do in it now, because I've painted up basically all of the background. It's Citadel Guard, Fountain Court, Beregond, Hurin, Boromir. I need to build Boromir, but Denethor, Irolas, they need to be built as well. Some Knights of Minas Tirith, some Knights of Dol Amroth as well. There's some Knights of Dol Amroth that need to be built that are on foot. There's the last vestiges of Isengard as well. What else are we talking about? There's the Eagles as well. There was a brief window where because of the cancelled Riders order, I was contemplating taking an Eagles list to Ardacon instead. So I built Gwaihir and 2 Eagles, and then Mike sorted out the Riders thing, so I was like, right, back to Riders it is. What else is there? There's the last bits of Rohan as well. That's all a thing. There is a Mordor list, although I think I'm going to revisit it because it's just it's basically just orcs and Sauron, which is pretty much what it is anyway, but I think I might change it a little bit to make it a little bit more of a varied video. I do want to do 9 ring wraiths, but again, that's kick that down the road for now, because that'll be a pretty lame video. I also don't need to do 9, I only need to do 8, because obviously I've got the Ooh, actually, that's a good point. That would be a candidate for something that could come out this year, or get announced this year. Plastic ring wraiths. That could be a thing. You know, that's Fellowship adjacent and also cool. You'll give the Witch King some friends, at least. Because the Witch King plastic model is gorgeous. But the metal ones are not so gorgeous. Tufts, tufts, tufts. So many tufts. Ah, reload. Reload! Grass. Grass. Tiny grass. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're enjoying the stream. I hope you're having a good time. If you haven't already, please do leave a like on the stream. And no Smaugs or Mumax. So there's still time for me to build and paint Smaug between now and tomorrow. Yes, chat. If you haven't already, please do leave a like on the stream. If you fancy supporting the stream a little bit further and as a consequence supporting the channel a little bit further, there are ways to do that, of course. There is a direct to Josh PayPal link in the description. You can, if you would like to, become a member of the channel. If you are already a member, you can gift out other members to people who don't have one. And of course, if you want to send me a little note or a question or a comment or something like that, you can do the super chat as well. And that is the first and last time I'm asking. Right. Oh, we got to 50 likes. Awesome. Great work, team. Okay. So. Now we just need to do the base rims. But for that we require Steel Legion Drab. Painting 10 Chaos Terminators right now. That's a lot of Terminators to be doing at one time. Are you enjoying it or you're not enjoying it? Boo, 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 boo. I really like the colour of a Steel Legion drab base. But it is a pain in the arse to paint it. Because it requires 2 thin coats. Because of course it does. 1. 1 down. Tell you what we'll do. Boom! Have 5 free gifted memberships, ladies and gentlemen. Celebrating my 3-year hobby anniversary. Congratulations. You're such an outrageously good painter for 3 years, James. It's not fair. It took me 30 years to get to where I am. And here you are, swanning about the internet with your beautiful painted miniatures and your gorgeous attitude. Three. We're a fifth of the way there. Not doing all the just doing all the metal spikes, so not too painful. You're a braver man than I was doing these. I did these riders in 2 batches, one of 7 and one of 8, because I did film a video, or at least the first part of a video, for this wave of Riders of Rohan, using the recipes from the new book. And going on that journey. Five. We're a third of the way through, and I need more paint. Bow, 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 bow. I hope my first opponent of the singles is Reza. so we can just get it out the way. Oh no, we won't get to fight each other because we're on the same team. Damn it. That's the thing, isn't it? That's one of the things of being in the same team does. You won't be paired with one another, I don't think. Oh, I'm going to have to play strangers all week. And they're all going to know more about the game than me, and they're going to be really annoyed because I'm rubbish. Or they'll be really happy because they'll see me coming from a mile away. Rich, I'm going to be honest with you, mate. You should probably boot me off the team because I'm only going to bring the average down. I can go and be a sleeper agent in someone else's team. Hey guys, can I join your team? I promise I'm real good. I'm here to ride for Ruin and the world's ending, and I'm all out of Ruin. And they'll probably say, "Are you a cop?" Your list can definitely do some work. Yeah, so this is the thing. You guys will keep saying that. You keep saying, Josh, your list is good. It can definitely do some work against things. I don't know the rules. I feel like I'm the team's little brother being sat down on his older brother's account of Escape from Tarkov with all of the gear and being like, look, you got all the gear, you got the best helmet, you got the best vest, these guns are amazing, there's great ammunition. Off you go. And then dying 5 minutes later to hydration or starvation. And losing all the gear. Hello, Codpiece. Four, 6, 9, 12. 3 more to go. Could have just used the evidence of my eyes, seeing that there were only 3 left, but no, count it up first. You never know when a rider might be hiding. They're always hiding. What is your ideal number of minis to paint at once? When I started with hobby, I batch painted 20 Kriegsmen. May never again. 5 is enough. Yeah, 5 is enough. I don't like doing batches greater than 5. That's why this week was so stressful. And you know what it was? It was because I decided, like I said, I did that using Games Workshop's recipes video. I filmed that. And I was like, I'm going to do 2 of each colour, because there's 4 recipes in the book. White, brown, dark brown, and black. And I'm going to do 2 horses for each, so that's 8 horses. So I did 7 horses in one batch, and then I shot the film for the 8. And then I finished off said riders. There we go, look at that. Done it. Now I need to do the second layer of Steel Legion Drab. Fun. First one should be dry now, though. One down. Boop, 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 boop. Two. Speaking of GWF series, have you checked the videos in the Warhammer Academy? What's your professional opinion? I haven't had a chance. Because when I went to go and look at it, it was like, sign up now. What's your skill level, and like and I was like, I don't want to answer a questionnaire of this, I just want to do this thing. So I haven't actually had a look at it yet, but I will have a look at it. I'm sure their videos are fine. Their videos have always been outstandingly fine, you know? What do you guys think more importantly? It's not that I can't learn something from Academy, but I'm not going to be making videos where I regurgitate what they're doing, if you see what I mean. Is there a video in there about contrast paints and they're like, what you want to do is flood the area with as much contrast paint as you possibly can and then mop it up? Which was their advice on one of their videos they did on YouTube a little while ago. And I was like, huh. It's an interesting approach to things. Given as it dries as fast as it does. But alright. It's definitely a way you can do it. I feel like you need to be in a air-conditioned studio for that to be effective every time. Or be using Vallejo Express Color, because Vallejo Express Color's got a really long drying time on it. It's one of its real benefits as a product. Six. Why watch Warhammer Academy when I can watch your videos? I don't go through everything though, just to be fair. I'd love to. It's going to be a part of our aggressive expansion someday. I'll hire a person to come and do all the videos that I haven't had time to do. But like, have fun. I want to help you aggressively expand. We'll be holding tryouts. Cameron, I believe is your name. Bungus or Spungus. Just finished the Castlevania anime. My god, it was good. Is that the one on Netflix? You all know my feelings. You've already created more painting tutorials than GW has. That can't be true. Surely not. Surely not. Yeah, the Netflix one. Thought you were a fan of it, to be honest. Oh, my friend, I'm a huge fan of it. The Castlevania one, I haven't actually finished. I can never remember what the second version of it was called. It's called, like... Mr. Guakin, what's it called? You know the answer to these things. There's a second thing with set 300 years later in France. I can't remember what it's called. Nocturne. Maybe Nocturne? Maybe Nocturne. Anyway, the second one I haven't actually finished. I've been saving it for a rainy day. Because it got good right at the end of the first series. It just kicked into overdrive. But, like, yeah. See, the Trevor series with Richard Armitage. Peak content right there. What's not to love about Thorin Oakenshield killing vampires? You know? Nocturne. I did have it in my brain. Score 1 for the J-Man. I watch your own stuff, but I do prefer the way you do your videos, if I'm honest. Oh, that's very kind of you. Yeah. I mean, I would always say to everybody, you know, gather your how-tos and your Y24s for painting from multiple sources, and then you can create your own style that is both comfortable, efficient, and of a quality that you are in love with. That's the way to do it. I mean, I'd probably say that my style is... I mean, obviously there's the contrast element of it, which I think is, you know, quite a lot of it's me and my way of doing things. But, like, most of the time when it comes to stuff like metallics and classic painting and stuff like that, I fall back on what I learnt from all those years of the old Duncan videos and things like that. And like watching people like paint and coach and stuff like that. All gets molded in. Having complete analysis paralysis. Trying to decide how to build the tyrant. Yeah, I went through the same thing. I just went with as you know, I went with the GW base build. I think that the Frostlord version, so the version with like all the pelt and stuff, looks great, but ultimately I think it overbusies the model, and when there isn't much in the way of Beastclaw Raiders paraphernalia in the rest of the box, it makes him stand out a little bit as being not quite right. So I would generally avoid doing that version of him until like the Hunters or whatever they're called come out, that they previewed a little while ago. And then when it comes to the weapons, I think, like, obviously you've got multiple choices there. I did think that in terms of the painting, the one where he is holding the blade up and resting on the ground felt like it was a little bit too what's the word? Claustrophobic. So it looked a bit like it would be a hassle to paint rather than a fun paint job. Would be some of the things I would say. Was excellent. Very much makes me want to start a Vampires Army for AOS. Oh yeah, mate. That is exactly what happens when you watch that show, because that show is so unbelievably good. The problem is you then run into a slight issue in that you have got options to do like Dracula's Court, like, because you've got so many really good vampire models now from Games Workshop. So many good vampire models from Games Workshop. You know, there's a ton of them. But then you don't have any vampire foot troops other than the Eskurgan True Blades, and they're not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but they're not how I kind of picture them. So I'm still waiting one day for like a heavy Knights of Blood on foot or something like that. Chat, I don't want to alarm anyone. But I have finished my army. Woo! When are we going to see these riders at a Warhammer World tournament? Ooh, that's a good question. Do they run 800 points at Warhammer World? Because I would have to do another 9 riders and a captain. I'd have to convert a captain on horse. I did think about doing it with possibly Hammer. Or no, Haleth's horse. But yeah. Should we risk it? Dare we risk just a little more light? Risk having little brown circles all over my painting map for the rest of time. Behold. Look to my coming at first light on the 5th day. At dawn, look to the east. Now, it might not be the best looking army at Ardacon, but it certainly is going to be the newest. I'll be interested to see if anybody else has got as many of these new riders as I have. And the winner of newest army is Josh. Yeah! Taking part. Taking part. Oh, look at that. Doesn't that just look special? Yes, Gandalf has a black rim on his base. It's because that's how I did it for the Minas Tirith, and that's how it's going to be. I'm not going to change it. I'm extremely pleased with this. The fun thing about, as I was going through this, I was like, I cannot have the same rider on the same horse. So we had to go. I had to keep going through it, and I kept swapping riders around over and over and over and over again. So let's do that, and then that one, And that one is a third horse again. And that one is one of those horses. That one is the fourth horse option. And that's the fifth horse option. That's this one. Goes there like that. And this one is left foot planted. So there's a right foot planted one as well. That guy there. So then go through it like this. Making sure that I wasn't having duplicate guys on duplicate horses. So they should all be different at any one time. Boom. There you go. And then Éomer and Gandalf. And that's how we'll deploy. Look at that. It's done. Oh, I'm so pleased. Let's just do that. Why not? My army heat is finished. $800 is usually standard, though they do other point levels too. Not sure when the next Warhammer World one will be. Yeah, I'm not sure. You need both good and evil. Yeah, that's how it used to be when I was coming up as a youngster. I remember being invited to one. I couldn't go to it in the end because I was a young warthog at the time, and my parents didn't want to drive me. But yeah, you had to have a good and an evil army, and you would only ever play good into evil, which I think it's a nice quirk of the game, and I wish that Ardacon was like that. But I understand why it's not. It does just mean you end up with, I think, probably a lot of good versus good. And evil versus evil. Which then I think breaks some of the mechanics of the game a little bit. Just in terms of, like, you know, the advantages of this are X and the disadvantages of that are Y, and the advantages of X and blah 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 blah. But then you end up with games where it's Boromir versus Boromir. Do you know what I mean? Is this the whole army? That is the whole army. That is 700 points. Well, 698 points. 698 points. So it's 371 models so far this year. No, I've already counted them in. That's reasonable. I thought this was just part of a larger force. Yeah, there is a 1,000 point version of this I have where you add a captain and 6, 12, 18, 19, 20, 21. 9 more guys. So a captain and 9 more. Sounds like Josh needs an evil list. Easterlings have hope. Yeah. Need evil lists. I know. As I said, I was never intending to take Easterlings to. Easterlings. I'm never intending to take evil to Ardacon. Absolutely no way. But yeah, I will absolutely need some evil lists. You need some Royal Guard in this list, but you are not allowed to have Royal Guard in this list because this is Riders of Éomer, and they are not allowed. They are banned. It is Riders of Rohan only. Riders of Rohan. A rider of Rohan with a banner, Gandalf, Captains, and Éomer. If you're playing Legacy models, you're allowed Erkenbrand. But if you're not playing Legacy models, you're not allowed Erkenbrand. And Ardacon is not allowing Legacy models. There we go. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We've done. Let's just quickly update that because we did gift out 5 members. That's the end of the stream. We're done. It's over. And the army is ready. The army is worthy of Mordor. Built and painted, worthy of Mordor. Well, not really. Worthy of Éomer, I hope, and of Gandalf the White. But there we go. I will hopefully be back streaming on Monday. Tomorrow there will be an ogre's painting video. For sure there will. And on Saturday there might be an ogre's painting video, or there might be something else. I don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see how the rest of the day goes, and tomorrow. But yeah, be good to get the Gluttons and the Morby's Cavalry videos out. I'll figure it out. Anyway, wish me luck for Ardacon. I hope to win at least one game, just one game on my own. I think Adam is capable of winning a game with me saddling him. With me holding him back, but I think I would like to win at least one game by myself. We shall have to wait and see, though, if that is going to be a thing that I am capable of. So I will see you all very soon on Monday. Hopefully we will be live then, and hopefully we'll also be live next Wednesday as well, but who can say what the future holds? I don't know. You don't know. That's the whole fun of it. So I'll see you all very soon in a little bit. Thank you very much for all the months of membership and for the super chat. Lovely people, and I'll see you in a bit. Bye!